morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Life Show, where I, Sunitha, along with my co-host Tracy, we hop on every Friday and talk about everything North Fork. The weather has been rainy. I've been recently forgetting to give the weather report. The sun seems to be trying to peek out today, but there's been a whole few days of rain strung together, and the summer is just flying away. So, I'm hoping today is a salvageable. I just went to trivia night last night for the first time at Greenport Brewery, and it was so much fun. I'm not a trivia gal. I don't know the answers. Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
Morning. Good. I was ready to give the weather report as well because I did not get the notice that it was going to be winter for the last 2 days.
So I
was out and about
I
in
went
like
to
tank
trivia night.
top, freezing.
I went to trivia night at Greenport Brewery last night, and actually back up a little bit. One of my newfound joys on the North Fork is mahjong, and we've been finding interesting locations to hang out at and play mahjong. So I did NOFO Rocco a couple of weeks ago, and yesterday we decided to go to Greenport Harbor Brewery and take a table and then just play mahjong. But in terms of timing, we knew there was trivia night later, so we decided to stay and do trivia night. I mean, we were cool at mahjong at 3:30, but by the time it was 6 p.m. for trivia night, and I was wearing a dress, I was like, my husband was coming, I was like, bring a blanket, bring a sweater.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on?
I know.
It's
I know.
crazy. Have you
Same.
ever been to trivia night, though, by the way? It was
I
really
haven't,
fun.
and that's right up my alley. I love games and stuff like that. I would absolutely love that.
It was packed. I mean, sometimes I'm just surprised. I'm like, I didn't know that this is what people were doing every Thursday night. And like I said, I'm really good at.
Because of Tilly, I really miss out on all that stuff because it's like, I just can't justify getting a babysitter.
I think that's Tilly friendly, actually.
Yeah, but what time is it at?
6 p.m.
Oh, okay. All right. We can do that.
It's Tilly friendly. It's Tilly. Right. There have a lot of families, and it's funny because, like I said, we went to play mahjong earlier, and we took one of the outer tables because the big inside tables are rectangles. But there were several families like playing sorry and trouble and just hanging out, and I was like, oh, I guess this is what people do. So
that sounds fun.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go. I thought it was at like 8 or something.
No,
so yeah,
no,
6 weeks.
I think it's 6. And of course, I keep saying this all the time, so the secret is really out. They really do have good food. So, so I'm happy between the game and the food. It was a great evening. It was fun. Yeah. What else has been going on with you while we wait for Jill? I don't see her yet. Well, actually,
we've been so busy with so many kid birthday parties. We had Kelly and Jimmy from NOFO Doko, their daughter turned 5 today, and we had a birthday party last weekend. Yeah, so
hi.
Hi, how are you?
How are you,
ladies? Hi, Tracy. Hi, Sunita.
Hey, and
hi.
Worked out great.
I'm here.
I see the beautiful store behind you.
Yes.
Awesome.
I tried to imitate. You had shelves behind you, and I thought that's a really good idea. So there's shelves behind me.
And I see some sweaters back there. It looks like yes.
All right,
we're getting ready.
Jill, let's tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Jill Heller, and I'm the founder of Pure Thread. Pure Thread is a fashion boutique located in Shelter Island Heights. So it's one Greenport ferry away from the North Fork. And we specialize in curating a mix of different designer brands in one shop, giving women a choice on what to wear or how to build their wardrobes. So we start with foundational items like nudie systems bras and panties. And we go from there, we put on maybe a tank top or a camisole, some pants or denim, and t-shirts. And we build from the bottom up how to dress a woman's body.
What a neat I guess that's how people do it. It's just like all brand new information to me.
Right. This is how we do it, like your song.
This is how the rest of the women do it. Got it. Okay.
So in one store, in this 500 square feet, beautiful store overlooking the water on Chase Creek in the heights of Shelter Island, we have everything that a woman could want to wear. And that takes a lot of careful consideration and thought into what's our lifestyle, where are we going, how do we want to dress, and present ourselves to the world. So hopefully I've done it right. And
So it sounds like almost like you help people pare down. Like, what are those, the capsule wardrobes where people kind of have multiple uses for different pieces?
that makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want your capsule look to be very easy for you in the morning when you're getting dressed or going about your day. You don't want to overthink. You want to know yourself. And we help people go through that process.
I like what you just said. You want to know yourself, because I know that if I'm wearing something that makes me happy, then it automatically flatters me. I can't explain it, but I guess that's how I feel.
Right. Exactly.
That's
There's a feeling of self-confidence, which is what you're saying, that comes from knowing you're dressed right and you're out in the world looking good, feeling good. You know, we have to get dressed in the morning. It's not a naked world, so we got to put ourselves together and get out the door feeling and looking our best. And that's
Tracy,
not going to be every day.
Tracy, how about if we make our show like a pajama only zone? I
Oh
think
my
that would
God.
work.
Do you know how much easier my life would be? Oh my God. I literally was planning, I had this whole speech going in my mind because I had to get Tilly out the door to camp, and I kept thinking, if I show up in my pajamas, what am I going to say to everybody? Because it might very well happen.
But maybe we have to take a few notes today, because I feel like, not that I feel like I need a show wardrobe, but I need something easy in the morning, because our show is casual, and we want to keep it effortless, both for Tracy and I and our guests, right? So maybe some thoughts and ideas on how we do that, especially for me, would be really helpful. And I loved the way you started with the undergarments and having the right fit below, you know. But before we jump into all that, I want to take a step back. How did you get into this business? Because obviously it sounds like you have a lot of experience and a lot of wisdom to offer. How did you get started on this journey?
I was born into it. So that was pretty easy. I
Oh,
didn't
so
have a choice.
Maybelline. So it's like the Maybelline thing.
I was born with it. No. Yes, my grandfather, and my father were clothing manufacturers,
Oh, wow.
specializing mostly initially in knitwear.
Okay.
And my grandfather had a showroom on 7th Avenue, Fashion Avenue in New York City, the Garment Center days. And he manufactured in New York at the beginning of his career. And my father came into the business, married my mother, came into the business, and he started to seek other production facilities out of New York City and really started pioneering development of product and production in Hong Kong.
Oh, wow.
So this is, the 1960s. And so I grew up with my father twice a year going to Hong Kong to source production for their garments. And I never went, but I always was interested, even as a young child, in the feel of the textiles. Or when he came back with sample boxes, maybe I was 4 or 5, but I wanted to wear all the samples, which were lady sizes. But I was very drawn to the business from an early age. So that makes it really easy. And I went to college at Syracuse, and I specialized in business marketing, not knowing what I was going to do with that once I got out, but there was a foundation there. And I went to work directly for my dad in his showroom on 7th Avenue after college. And I was on the wholesale side of the business. So we showed a collection to stores. We sold the collection to put it in stores. Like in those days, it was Bloomingdale's, Macy's, Burdines, Benzel's in New York City. That's not here anymore in the same way. And at the end of the day, as great a lesson as it was for me, I felt I was missing something in the end result. What happened to all these garments once they were shipped to these big retailers? Then what? I felt I didn't have a chance to see how the pieces fit, hang them up on the racks, play with it, and then play with the end customer. So after a long conversation with my dad, who was totally supportive of me, we found a store space on Columbus Avenue in New York City in the 1980s. Now I'm giving you my age, you guys, but we don't care about that. It was the 1980s, and we found a store on Columbus Avenue that was already a clothing store prior to the lease being available. It was like, oh wow, dressing rooms are built, racks are in. So all I had to do was move in, pay the rent, hire employees, and hang a lot of his clothes that we were producing.
Great.
So
But
there I
that's
got
pretty brave of you to jump into business.
jumped into business in my 20s on the Upper West Side, but that's when Columbus Avenue in the 1980s was really happening. I mean, we were open till 11 p.m. at night. People were walking the streets.
Wow. What
A
was
lot.
the name of the store on Columbus?
It was called Chilly, Chilly.
Okay.
It wasn't a name I chose, but it was named after a line that we were importing from Europe.
Okay.
So it kind of had a very esprit feel. We were young, and it fit the customer then too. And I don't know if they're in business any longer, but it was from Germany.
Okay.
So I kept the brand name because a lot of the product was Chili product.
Okay.
And
However,
what kind of clothing was that?
it was, I mean, if you remember Esprit, that brand, it was casual, a lot of sweats, and it's actually really would be a good brand right now. But
Because everything comes back, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it's time for it to
a
come
lot
back.
of like sweatshirts and sweatpants, but young, hip clothes, streetwear. And
Oh,
if you know
I'm getting Juicy Couture, velour tracksuit vibes suddenly.
right, with a very European flair. And if you know anything about designers from Germany, they're very meticulous about detail. And
I love detail.
another, they had great coats, duster coats. So, to trend upward from the sweats, then they throw over these gorgeous coats. So that was very beautiful. But I felt in that store that I was missing certain things in the market that I didn't get from that brand. So then I decided, okay, now I'm going to become a buyer. So I went from wholesale to retail, and now put on my buyer hat and go into the garment center and start sourcing other product. So a lot of lessons are learned just by life experience.
Yeah.
Closed that store and had two sons, Evan and Mike, who are wonderful. And while I was raising my boys in Westchester, I looked around, and for years, as I'm driving carpool and going to soccer, thinking, where is there a woman's boutique in Westchester, in the Chappaqua, Mount Kisco area? Maybe there were one or two already doing well, great stuff, and some other brands. But I always had this vision. No one's doing what I think should be done. And I thought somebody else is supposed to do this. When is someone else going to do this? Till one day it dawns on me that, oh no, Jill, you're going to have to do this.
But I just want to comment something there. So many people that don't think they're entrepreneurs are going through these thoughts in their head. And my comment is, if you're thinking these thoughts, if you have these questions, you are an entrepreneur, and you can't be waiting for somebody to come up with the solution. You are the solution.
That's right.
It's so interesting that this conversation is had in so many forms for so many different businesses, right? Waiting for somebody to come up with it when you've already thought of it, or at least thought of the problem, right?
Right, exactly. And then there was a problem to be had in that there were so many women in Westchester, Greenwich, Connecticut, all over, like throughout the northern part of New York and Connecticut and Jersey, or wherever people were coming from, that didn't have a mini Bergdorf Goodman or mini Barney's in their town. It's like, where are people going? And we didn't have online then. It was 2003 to 2007. We weren't online. So lo and behold, there's a space that needed to build out. My family was supportive. My boys were, Mom, I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, because you're a busy mom. How much more can you take on? You know?
Exactly. I'm like, guys, thanks. But that store was a home run in every sense of the word.
Where did you end up opening it?
In Mount Kisco, New York.
Okay.
It was called On the One, ONE, with a big one kind of logo.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was great because it was really needed. And I really learned in that store how to do curated buying. Maybe I touched on it earlier but I had supply. That store had nothing supplying me to fill it. So it was, I mean, it was really a mini city store. It was a mini Barney's. I had so many great brands. Like back then, Vince, Diane von Furstenberg, and all these brands were building wardrobes for people. Diane von Furstenberg was where to work, what a woman wants to wear, dress, where to work. There was just, I had so many life lessons in that store. And a lot of the customers, if they're listening, are still with me today. So that's over 20 years later.
So
Wow.
I want to know more about curated buying, because when you walk into a store like yours, it all looks so beautiful, but I can't even begin to imagine the thought process that it takes, because you only have so much space, right?
Yeah.
And there are so many seasons. And then, so how do you balance keeping your stock, keeping what you buy as current? Because I mean, I've been to a few trade shows in my time, and you walk in and you're like, oh, this is pretty, oh, this is pretty, but you can only pick so many items. So how does that process work for you?
So true. You know what, Yesenia, can you bring me the vision board that's over there? It's so true. It's guesswork, but it's really about having a vision for your customer. So I like to put the customer in the center of everything I think about. When I go to the shows, when I go to the showrooms, when I go to the trade shows, what will she want to wear? And a lot of times I'm the customer.
Well, and you
My
mentioned
friends are the customer.
that a lot of your customers from On the One are still with you. So how does that work? Because now you're in Shelter Island.
We do FaceTime calls. We put a wardrobe together on the phone, and I ship the big box, and they get dressed at home, and we get on FaceTime again. We see what works, what doesn't. They keep what they want, send back the rest.
Wow.
And I'm pretty good at it now. I know them. I know the size. And that's a very special group of people. I'd say like my 15 favorite women from there. Like I could still ship. Also have an online presence now, so we could go through the website and pick. But getting back to the curated buying, I just want to show you for like a good visual. After I see all the collections, I put together, now this is a physical one, but I do it,
Love it.
I love it.
a vision board. So we just actually did it this week in store.
That's so
And I put
awesome.
together.
So you have an aesthetic and you know immediately whether it fits in or not.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Has pins in it. Yes, I have a vision, and then it's about just laying it all out. I print photos when I'm home too. After I see the collections and they send me lookbooks and line sheets, I print it out. I lay it on the floor in my house, and I kind of put it together, because what one company might be doing in color, right, will also coordinate back to, excuse me for a moment, what a separate brand might be doing in color.
Right.
So you end up thinking it through and picking your colors so that you look cohesive. And it's kind of magical when it all comes together.
I know for me, when I'm shopping, I have difficulty shopping in stores that aren't laid out like you're talking about. Like the aesthetic of the physical shopping experience is so important to how quickly I can make a decision.
100%.
Yeah.
You're so right, Tracy.
Yeah.
If it's confusing in the merchandise, you're confused.
Yeah.
You don't know what to look at. Plus, you often need, first of all, you need a clean slate and know what to look at, but a stylist in store. So the salespeople matter greatly. Yesenia is here with me today. Come on. She is terrific. Say hi. This is Yesenia.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Good.
So we often hold from 9 to 10 before we open in-store sales meetings when new products come in, product knowledge seminars, so that your team knows how to look at the clothes and help a woman look at the clothes.
Mm-hmm. So how
So
did you
we're here.
end up on Shelter Island?
Okay. So after my life in Westchester, I bought a house and moved out to Sag Harbor in 2016. I've been living here for about 8 or so years. And I didn't have a retail space. I did it one season a year from my home. I branded under the name Pure Thread back in 2010 when I sold On the One. So I still stayed doing my work, changed my brand name because I sold my other brand, which was great, but then the recession happened. But however, Pure Thread then was born in about 2010. I moved out here in 2016. It was always a home-based model. Even back in 2010, it was a city apartment-based model. It was one season a year, which is the fall, my favorite season, an open house for a month and by appointment only. So this was a way of staying in the business, but not having a full-time retail store. And it was satisfying only in a way that I was able to support my clientele that I already had from before. Then I met new people when I moved out here, and new women came over to the house, and I grew it little by little from my home in Sag Harbor until I found this gorgeous space in Shelter Island. And I've been looking for many years to find a destination space that I felt could attract, and this is where North Fork comes in, not just Hampton's customers, because they're specific type and they have so many stores there. Shelter Island sits in between Hamptons, Shelter, North Fork. Here's another thing. North Fork Shelter doesn't have the solution.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they have great stores, little boutiques. There's Pure Soul, Marie Eiffel here, but that's all, and we're all buying very differently. North Fork might have Lido and North Fork Apothecary and some other great little boutiques, but I do it a little bit differently. So the solution that I was thinking about back in Westchester, where do women go to get fully wardrobed in one place? I felt that this was a spot that sits in between the two bodies of water, and by one ferry ride, women could get here.
And you're pretty close to the ferry on this side. So,
Very.
I mean, it's not, I mean, you could walk, but obviously,
Right.
you're pretty
When you
close to the
came
ferry.
over, you said, "Can I walk?" I said, I think you should bring your car." But you can walk. You can walk right up the hill on Bridge Street and come over. So
Yes.
hopefully more women on the North Fork will do what you did, Sunita, and just come on over.
Well,
so are most of your clients then locals, or do you also get a lot of vacationers?
We've met a whole bunch of new people this summer, so I'd say both.
That's great.
and now how long you're not open year round? So when are you open?
We are in a way, so
Okay.
we're staying through the fall. Hours will be shortened, maybe like Thursday through Sunday or Thursday through Monday, and close Tuesday, Wednesday. And because I have a beautiful fall collection, it's my favorite fashion season too. And I think we'll stay and see how it goes this year, and then close December, January, February, reopen in March 25 with a whole new spring collection. So that's what I'm starting to look at in September, with a lot more knowledge now on who the customer is, what sizes she likes to wear, and how she likes to dress.
Well,
This was all blind.
on a personal note, I'm excited because you have been carrying some of my NOFO style, newly launched NOFO style bags. And I remember when I first walked into your store and put a bag down, and it just, Tracy, I can't explain it, but it fits, that particular one just fits so perfectly. And you made a decision on the spot, like this is the one. So I look forward to continuing to create a few more and see what fits in your store.
Yeah, and I think we could private label some things and make a style like specifically for Pure Thread. I love your bags.
Thank you.
I love, is it North Fork style or NOFO style?
NOFO style, yeah.
NOFO style. Yeah. Especially the braided cable raffia bag. That was a big hit. And the fact that you had a snap closure was great because a lot of tote bags don't have closures and products are falling out. Yeah, so I think we should still continue to collaborate because they were terrific.
Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback.
Absolutely.
So, Jill, we're going to go into the way we end every show, which is the same 5 questions.
Okay.
So, if you were going to take Sunita and I out to lunch or dinner, where would you choose to take us?
Oh, I try to stay on the island, and I think we'd go to Vine Street Cafe because I love their tuna tacos.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh, I love that we're discovering new
Okay.
places, Tracy.
Yeah.
This will be
Vine Street Cafe.
I love the North Fork, obviously, but Shelter Island literally is like a 3-minute ferry ride away. So I love that we're exploring options
Amazing
there.
food, always a hit. Vine Street Cafe, we're going. We're going.
Great.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, sunrise, sunset. Any beautiful spots to catch it in that area?
Oh, sunrise, Sunset Beach.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Hence the name, I guess.
Yeah, take a walk along the water. You could go in the water. You can sit at the beach. You can have a cocktail at the bar. Sunset Beach.
It's a good choice.
Perfect. Perfect. And are you a vineyard girl, brewery girl, mocktail, cocktail? What you enjoy?
Cocktail girl. And I recommend the whiskey sour at the American Hotel.
Okay.
Sag Harbor. Go have one.
Wait,
All right.
where is the American Hotel?
in the town of Sag Harbor.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking, I was scanning entire Shelter Island, going, I've not heard of that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm back in Sag Harbor with my friends.
We're good with field trips. We're good with field trips.
I love Sag Harbor. That's probably my favorite part of the Hamptons.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But I brought myself home so I don't drink and drive.
There you go. That's why you immediately thought of that one. I get it. This is how it works with the farm stands, right, Tracy? Whatever's close to home.
Exactly. So the next question is, when you're headed home from work and you're picking up some fresh veggies and produce, where are you stopping? What farm stands?
Serene Green. Serene Green.
Okay.
They're open until 7, which is great. If I close at 6, I can still go to Serene Green. It's a very easy around the bend, the circle when you're coming back to town. You go to the right, go by Long Beach and up the road, and you hit Serene Green. And they also have pre-made food if I don't feel like cooking. I can heat something up, and it's really good.
That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
So when you girls coming over?
What'd you say?
When are you coming over to Shelter?
I'm ready. I love coming to Shelter. Every time I go there, I say to myself, like, I want to go on a weekend vacation here, which I know seems ridiculous because it's a 5-minute ferry, but it feels that way when you go there. It just feels so quaint and relaxing.
It truly does. And I want to show you another highlight.
Okay.
When you walk in the store.
Look at that.
Oh,
There's
wow.
a gorgeous window. Yes, they're right on the water.
We're situated on the 2nd floor of 181 North Ferry Road. So we have a vantage point of height overlooking Chase Creek. And because we're on the 2nd floor, we have to do a lot of signage downstairs to bring people up and up the stairs. So one thing about this space was, 2nd floor, will anyone ever walk up?
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a little secret gem. Once they do, it's like, wow, I didn't know this was here. So I really appreciate you bringing me on today so we can talk about our business and have people get their steps in and come on up.
Yeah.
Tracy, next time I go in with some bag samples, we'll go together.
I would love that.
I just took the Tracy bag in to show Jill that she wasn't there. So we're gonna make another trip.
Love it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you again.
Yes. Well, Jill, tell us in one or two sentences why you love being a part of the North Fork community.
Oh, I feel so good when I'm over in the North Fork. My whole being relaxes when I'm over on your side of the water. I think there's so many small businesses there. They're not big chain stores. I feel like there's so many people doing what I do, whether it's a small restaurant, a small store, White Flower Farmhouse in Southold. I mean, I feel like I connect with the whole environment. And I love all the farm stands and wineries and live music. And there's just a slower, calmer, relaxed pace that is healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Well,
hope
thank you for joining
your
us.
vision, you have a North Fork vision board for next year, right?
Yes.
For the dog, and maybe a casual NOFO live vision board, so Tracy and I can take some notes on what we show up with in the morning. I mean, me more than Tracy. You know, Tracy
Right.
has her act together.
We could do a personal vision. First of all,
I
you look
wanted
so
to
great.
go first to say that, Sunita.
Sunita,
Well,
that
you've got
color,
the hair. You've got the hair, so you're good.
you both look gorgeous, and that color coral is gorgeous on you.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
Tracy, the blue with the stripe is perfect for this time of year.
Well,
And
thank
on
you.
you. Yeah,
Thank
so you did well. Red, blue, and cream.
Right.
I love it.
Thank you so much, Jill, for joining us. I'm so
Thank you for
glad.
having me. I
I'm
love
glad I
talking.
found
We
your
could go all
store,
day.
and I love that you're providing such a valuable service for women. And the conversation today was really helpful.
Thank
You know, starting all the way from the foundation to then adding and layering with the trench coat on top. I loved all of it. So thank you for joining us. Have a great Friday, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Happy weekend.
Bye.
Bye, Joe.